And welcome once again to Mesilla Valley News Sports. It is our podcast here, as we do every Tuesday night. I do apologize for last week. We didn't get a chance to make it because, guess who tested positive? That would be me. But don't worry, I have quarantined. I've spent my time alone. Everything else, I maxed up tonight just to make sure that I am being safe with our guests, and we are outside and everything else. But did want to apologize for missing last week. And, of course, this week is going to be our last show. We're going to be taking a little bit of a vacation here, some time off for the holidays as well. But just going over a few things that happened over the weekend for some sports action. Of course, last night, the Aggies did have a great game against Salmon Fraser. 77-35 was the final then. And, of course, that was a big win for the Aggies. And I think it's Shakira Odenawu. I hope I'm saying his name right. Of course, had a great night as well. Put on quite a show last night in the Pan Am Center. And, of course, another one of the big pieces of news this weekend is that the Aggie football team, not only do they have a great showing on Saturday against Valparaiso, but they got the news, and we are bowl bound. In fact, we're heading to Motown and the Detroit Quick Lane Bowl. That's going to be on December the 26th. In fact, I got the news today that I think the team is going to be headed out on the 22nd and heading over to our second bowl appearance in 5 years. And it just feels good to say that. I'm going to tell you that right now. And, of course, the college football playoff semifinals were set after the final rankings of the season were released on Sunday. Georgia still number one, followed by Michigan, TCU, and Ohio State. Buckeyes grabbed the final playoff spot after the previous number 4 USC lost to Utah in the Pac-12 championship. TCU remained third despite its loss to Kansas in the Big 12 title game. Georgia will take on Ohio State in the semifinals while Michigan meets TCU. And, of course, the U.S., while they made it to the knockout round and then got knocked out right away, they suffered a loss, 3-1 loss against the Netherlands. And so for this World Cup, it looks like the U.S. team doesn't have the chance there, but there's a lot of people that really enjoy the World Cup, and there's lots of good games to be going on for this year. But right now, let's go ahead and move on with our guest tonight for our Mesilla Valley News Sports podcast. Our guest is none other than Athletic Director Mario Mocha from NMSU. How are you doing tonight, Mario?
Ooh, busy.
Yeah, I can. You've had one heck of a weekend.
Yeah. Did I start the show off?
Yeah.
Did I? No, not this show, but I mean, did I start the year's show off?
You are a second. You were our second guest.
I was a second.
You were a second guest on our second show.
Because typically I kind of bookend it.
Yeah,
right?
normally.
Last.
Because you're the man. You're the guy. You're the guy that we want to talk to. That's got all that information.
Yes, very popular these days.
Very, very, especially with the press. And I don't, I think you've always been popular, but for some reason, this weekend you've been a very, very busy man.
This is true.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and address this right away. Okay. During the game last night, KOAT came out with the story, basically coming out with some more particulars about what happened up in Albuquerque with Peak and the shooting that occurred on the UNM campus.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, I just wanted to give you the opportunity right off the bat here to say anything if you can, or maybe to at least address the situation that we have here.
Sure. First of all, it's obviously it's an ongoing investigation. So there's a lot of things that I'm precluded to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And that decision's been made that we're going to decide we're going to wait till the investigation is completed. Today, the university had sent out a release that the institution is going to launch like an independent review of the situation, et cetera, kind of separate from the police investigation, obviously. And then just to dig deep into, you're always constantly reviewing yourself. This is obviously very, very in the public's eye. So it's going to be great to have an external person who's independent do a review of that. As far as the details, sure, we saw that story. I thought the Albuquerque Journal story trounced that other story from accuracy and not being inflammatory, etc. I just thought it was significantly better journalism, just my opinion. But at the end of the day, we're going to work through it. I think earlier earlier that yesterday,
Yeah.
we had made the announcement, or I guess I answered a question about Mike Peake's status, that he was indefinitely suspended from basketball activities, and that's pending on the university's disciplinary process, which can't really be talked about publicly because of federal privacy laws, and also the police investigation. And then that will lead us to, what athletics does next.
Yeah. So, yeah, basically things are still being investigated. Things are still being looked into. And there's not really an opportunity for you to make any decisions or say anything until all of that stuff gets done. And then at that time, they will look and see what actions would be taken.
Sure. And, the frustrating part is you have fans, you have supporters, you have donors, everybody who cares about the institution wants to respond. And, we're really in the position where we don't respond, can't respond, whether it's from legal issues or trying to get all the facts before you do make a response, or the fact that there's an ongoing investigation. The other side can have conjecture and have access to reports and materials that we didn't have. I assume they got them legally, but we didn't have them. So that puts us in a different category.
Yeah.
Where it's a little frustrating that we can't respond. But at the end of the day, I'm fully confident that all the facts will come out, and when those facts are all out, we will take any and all appropriate action.
Absolutely. And I just wanted to bring up to everybody that might be watching right now that when you say you can't say anything, that is like legally you cannot say anything, because we are dealing with kids, these kids right here that are going through this. And right now, their privacy is foremost upon the NCAA, their rules and everything else with the university, to make sure that nothing is said in any way that would be able to harm them. So until we know everything, and like you said, for that, we have to let these investigations play out.
Yeah.
Then, things will
sure
make those decisions at that time.
You have federal laws protecting individuals' health and that information. You have it protecting from an academic standpoint, student discipline, etc.
Yeah.
So that, and then an ongoing police investigation that you don't want to chime in on. So there's like kind of like a three-headed monster that really doesn't necessarily allow you to say what I think people want to hear from you. So there are natural systems built in that you can't respond as much as you'd like, and that happens in a lot of cases. We find ourselves in that kind of case right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm, like I said, you're feeling the brunt of it right now, because everybody wants the answers, or they want some type of answer to questions that you just can't give answers to, and you're getting the brunt of it right now as the AD.
Well, at the end of the day, that's why they pay you to handle not so much the great situations, but when the seas get a little rough and rocky, you got to steer the ship. Anybody can get on the cruise ship and just go 20 miles an hour through the Caribbean Sea. So we'll do our best. As an alum and somebody who's been at the helm for 7 years now, I certainly have the institution's best interest at heart, and we've got so many success stories. But this just illustrates how fragile your success can be. You can put all this emotional success and capital in the bank, and then one situation can, erode it significantly, or have others try to erode it in the public eye, who maybe don't like your success or don't like your school or what have you.
Or as has been said in the past, they just don't like sports in an academic sense. And as well, I've talked to a lot of people that way. But so that being said, thank you for addressing that, and thanks for keeping your appointment. I know I had to cancel mine last week.
Well, you had a reason. I know we obviously set this up prior to this, but I don't like to break engagements when I don't have to. I just don't think it's good policy. So
no, absolutely. You're here and I'm here, and we're going to move on to some bigger and much brighter things right now, because what I had planned to talk about up until last night that I really wanted to get to was the joyous fact that once again, within 5 years, New Mexico State Aggie football is headed to a bowl game. This is Jerry Kill's first year, and I think I was talking with Jack and Corey, saying this has got to be the first and most successful first year head coaching job, I think, in the history, because I think we had to go back to 1978 to where first year head coach had won 5 games.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have 6 and a bowl game. So I think Jerry's at the top of that list right now.
Well, when you look at our history,
looking at 7.
Yeah, when you
Yeah.
when you look at our history, our bowl appearance are 1936,
Yeah.
back to back in 1959 and 1960,
Yeah.
and then 2017, right?
Yep.
That ended the 57-year drought. So, for Coach Kill to have a team that's bowl eligible in year 1 says volumes about, the staff he's brought in, his ability to rally individuals to believe they can do something, and then also squeeze the talent, as much talent as somebody has to give. Coach said, hey, there's some players in there that are giving me more than they got. They're giving me more than what they have, and that's because he's really good at his job. I mean, that's been demonstrated from his previous stops. But to inherit a team, right, and have a very, very quick recruiting class, and to have these results, I think bodes really, really well for the future, because you see other programs that are further along in their coach's tenure that either aren't bowl eligible or struggling or what have you. So that was great. And it was even more surprising, from an administrative standpoint. I joked with somebody. I said, man, New Mexico State is starting to win waivers like we're the University of Texas. We had to put in a waiver, which was a completely separate waiver. I know it confused a lot of people, but wanting to play a 12th game had nothing to do with becoming bowl eligible.
No.
We wanted to have a senior day. We wanted to fulfill the 6-game requirement that we told our fans when they bought their season tickets. We wanted that last opportunity for the kids to play a home game. We have sponsorship responsibilities, and it was great to be able to have that. The weather certainly didn't cooperate, but
it did not.
Yeah, we had a ton of politicians from both sides of the aisle at the game, so it's always good to play in front of them. And then simultaneously, we had also found out that week that we won the waiver that we submitted to the NCAA, but that the boy, I'm drawing a blank. It's the FOC, the Football Blank Committee. It's not operations. It'll come to me. Had a brain cramp there.
That's okay. It happens.
Yeah,
it's been a long weekend.
Yeah. But they, they heard that. There's a whole list of individuals on that committee. But it was sure great that, some of those individuals who are going to be voting. Not so much that, oh, these are your friends, they'll vote for you. It doesn't work like that. But the people who actually voted, and there was a very small amount, I could actually get them on the phone, talk them through it. One of the individuals kind of grilled me for 20 minutes. The other one, I've known in this business for a long, long time. So that helps, because other than that, they're reading a blank piece of paper.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, they're reading just a plain old piece of paper.
Yeah, the plain old piece of paper says, let us play.
Yes. Yeah. And, the reasoning, but if you can get on, that's why, I think things in person are much more compelling. And, we found out that we were successful in that waiver. Football Oversight Committee.
There you go.
Yeah, that's the FOC. And that was great from an administrative standpoint. And I give all the kudos to Nate Flores, our Associate AD for Compliance, and Bronk Cartwright, our Deputy AD, and Kevin Melendrez, our Faculty Athletic Rep, who really helped put that together.
Okay. And whoever sent the fruit basket, I'm sure that helped out as well.
Yeah. No fruit basket.
No fruit basket. Okay. No. But because it was my understanding after I had to talk with someone that those were 2 separate waivers. So the game itself on Saturday against Valparaiso really had nothing to do with our bowl eligibility.
Correct.
We were looking for a waiver because we did have the 5 games but we were unable to play a 6th game against a D1 opponent because of the cancellation of that one game.
Correct. Our rationale was that, number one, we're 5-6.
Yeah.
That is statistically better than 5-7.
Chance.
That's from an old baseball player who was always watching his average.
Baseball. Now they know their stats, man. They got those statistics.
The second argument was that we were 5-6, and it was beyond our control. The tragedy of a student athlete passing away at San Jose State. They couldn't come. We certainly agreed. We then tried to get every Division I school that might be out there to schedule us, even call Virginia Tech. And my old buddy Whit Babcock, he's like, hey, we're done for the season. So we tried everything we could. And, I think that's what carried the day. It was beyond our control. We could demonstrate that we tried to call all the available teams, and then we just put it in their hands, and they saw it the way we saw it.
And that waiver, which did you find out? Obviously, you found out about Valpo first, and then when did you find out about?
We found out Valpo on Tuesday, right? Yeah. Tuesday.
Someone was taking their time on Monday in the office.
Yeah, and
Friday?
No, hey, these days
Friday?
are blending in, man. No, it wasn't Friday.
No,
maybe it was Thursday.
Thursday. Okay.
I think it was Thursday.
Thursday. Okay. Yeah. So don't worry.
Yeah,
we'll make it through
for this thing.
Yeah, we'll make it through. Yeah. And then of course, the Aggies did play on Saturday, and I'll tell you this, that's the first home game that I've missed for the Aggies probably in the last 10 years.
Did you watch on TV?
I did. I watched it on TV, but I was syncing my game.
You have to,
because I had to, because
with your profession, you couldn't.
I couldn't do other than that. No offense to Adam, or anything like that, but I did watch the game, and they looked good overall. Again, that same team that was there against Liberty was definitely showed up on Saturday, and it makes me, the season has passed. You can't go back. You can't go back and do any games over again. But I wish we'd had that FIU and that UTEP game back.
Yeah,
I really wish we had those two.
And that's so easy to say, and I say it too. But you know what? It's almost like you're planting a tree. You're planting you've got crops, and you're looking at it every day. And one day you go out and you're like, oh hey, it's starting.
Yeah. And
then you take a week or two, and you're like, whoa, that's shooting up there.
Yep.
And that's how I felt, against Liberty. And I understand what some people say. Well, they found out that their coach was leaving. That is a true statement.
Yes, that is
However,
a true statement.
That was the 18th team in the country ranked.
Yeah.
I guarantee, and I know people will say this, but if we played Alabama and Nick Saban was leaving, I don't know if we were going to beat them. I mean, that was a team that went on the road and beat Arkansas, an SEC team. That's a team that beat up pretty good a very, very solid BYU team.
Yep.
That's won a lot of games this year. So in football, I know you could be down in the mouth, but at the end of the day, if you're 300 pounds and I'm 200 pounds, it's going to be tough. I mean, we executed.
Oh yeah. Oh no, absolutely.
Diego was running around like he was,
I think
Diego
he was a rushing leader.
Yeah. I mean,
I think he did over 100 yards in rushing.
Every pass was right on the money.
Yep.
They gave him time to throw, and when he didn't have time, he was able to escape and make plays with his legs, and the defense came into play. So, I mean, I get it. Their dauber might have been down. However, 49-14 is kind of a statement.
And that 14 probably should have been 7 anyway, too, in my opinion. But
it was at the end of the game.
Yeah, it was at the end of the game. But,
I think coach and his staff obviously have been putting together excellent game plans, and that was a culmination. But it was nice to say, oh, it was New Mexico State that had the second biggest upset in all of college football this year.
Yeah.
The only bigger one statistically, Middle Tennessee State was a 25.5 point underdog when they beat Miami. We were 24.5 underdog, but a tremendous win, and he's got the team peaking at the right time.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, and also. I say you don't necessarily want to go back, because I say I wanted those FIU and those UTEP games back. But you know what? To get to be the team that they are for these last few games, you have to go through those things. So they're going through that loss at FIU probably, got a few more people to wake up and say, okay, wait a minute, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Or what am I doing here?
Yeah.
And coach could bring that around. And like I said, the way that they're playing right now, I'm really looking forward to this bowl game here.
Yeah, that's one thing. The bowl game is going to be a really special occasion. I know we're going to get in and talk about the specifics of it. Mm-hmm. Obviously, now we're bowl eligible. We were technically, we were the 80th team to fill the 82 bowl slots.
Wow.
Right. We won the waiver on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
So we were in.
Yeah.
And then Buffalo won on Friday. So they were in. They were the 81st team. And then the way the NCAA does it, it goes to the 5 and 7 teams, and they rank you by APR, academic progress rate, how you've done. It's an academic formula. And the first team was Rice University.
Yeah.
Obviously a pretty significant academic
pretty
institution.
significant.
And
they're pretty good. They're pretty smart up there.
So
right?
then after that in line was going to be UNLV, maybe, I don't know if it was Auburn and Michigan State or Michigan State and Auburn, but it was
between those two. Yeah.
So that's kind of how it played out. But we were in, and then we all were wondering where we were going to go, and that all kind of played out the way it played out.
Yeah. It was kind of interesting because I was just watching and waiting to find out where we were going to go. And for some reason, it's just like either I missed it, I blanked out, or something else like that. But I'm going like, wait a minute, why are we talking about all this other stuff? And I still haven't heard anything. And I believe it was your website where when they finally put that page up there that splashed the whole thing right up on top there that said that we were headed to Motown. And it was really exciting to kind of be able to sit there, because at that time I was still kind of quarantining a little bit. I think it was on my last day, and it was just exciting to be out there. It almost made me wish that I was hanging out with everybody else to go ahead and hear the news and find out where we were going. But
and that's what's interesting, because I had multiple calls with head kind of honcho at ESPN who controls all the bowl games, and he said, hey, it could be X, could be Y, could be Z. We kind of knew early that this year the New Mexico Bowl just was not going to work out.
No, that wasn't
I know the executive director Jeff Symbieta would love to have the Aggies, because I think would bring a ton of people. However, ESPN has TV options with ABC. I think you saw that now that game is switched to a night game. It's ABC, it's SMU versus BYU.
Yep.
So they've got a tremendous matchup. So then it was, are we going to, I had heard, Frisco, I had heard Dallas, which is the first responder bowl. I had heard Mobile, I had heard Detroit, and the Quick Lane Bowl. So we were looking, and what we had heard, and this is how crazy the dominoes are, if the Rose Bowl would have taken Penn State instead of Ohio State. Now, this is before Ohio State got into the CFP.
Yeah.
Because USC stubbed their toe.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
well,
if they would have done that, then we would have been in Dallas, and somebody else would have been in Detroit. So I was like, wait, you're telling me who is selected? But, we ended up taking a Big Ten slot, right? So we're in the Quick Lane Bowl, December 26th in Detroit, Michigan. And that bowl is slated for the Mid-America Conference versus the Big Ten Conference. So the Mid-American Conference is representative is Bowling Green State University, right? From Bowling Green, Ohio. It's about an hour and a half away. So they'll probably have a ton of fans.
Oh, I'm sure.
And we took the Big Ten slot because, with the two teams in the CFP, I haven't studied it, but obviously they didn't have enough teams to make it down to that.
Every time I start to think about the stuff when it comes up to the bowl games, all I can picture is this cork board with lots of helmets and different logos and everything on there, and strings of yarn going over there. Well, if this goes over here and this goes over here and this over here, and it's just like, you know what? I'm glad somebody else has to think about that and I don't.
Yeah, it's a massive puzzle piece, and but at the end of the day, look, it's one of two things. It's a great bowl. There's some bowls that are better than others. This is a great bowl. It's a Big Ten slotted bowl. So the student athletes are going to get a great experience. However, it's not as close to our home base as we certainly would like, because
it is a little bit of a drive. I mean, when we went to the Arizona Bowl, I didn't travel with the team because I had work stuff. Work stuff always gets in the way. And so I drove up the day before the game, and because it was 6 hours, I drive up there, stay the night. We did a little show the night before, and then got to really enjoy the game that day, and then just drove back after the game. Not a big deal for me, right? I was talking to a few people. I said, I don't think I'm driving to Detroit, and of course it happens. It just so happens to fall on the Christmas weekend,
right? Yeah, and bowls can do that. We were fortunate with the Arizona Bowl. You could drive.
Yeah, and a lot of people did.
Sure, it was super warm weather climate.
Absolutely.
The game was on the 29th, so it almost fell kind of in that lull where it's like, okay, we had Christmas, we're waiting on New Year's.
Yeah, we got a couple more days till New Year's.
So I always say that was Aggie Valhalla. Everything just worked out great.
It was good.
So while the geography doesn't work in our favor, the quality of the bowl is certainly great. And I think the other thing, why you play in bowl games, it's a tremendous commercial for the entire institution.
Mhm.
So on December 26th, the day after Christmas, there will only be one bowl game on TV that whole day, and that will be New Mexico State University versus Bowling Green. It's going to be on ESPN, which is around about 100 million homes in the country. So it's going to be a 3-hour commercial for not just the football program and athletics, but the entire institution. And I think that's money that the institution couldn't necessarily buy.
Yeah,
a 3-hour commercial.
Yeah,
with,
all
homes.
all eyes across the country are going to be watching New Mexico State there, and we get a chance, an opportunity to show them what we got.
Yeah,
and which we'll do. I'm sure wonders and amazing things for Jerry and recruiting as well. Because I'm sure there's a lot of players out there that see, hey, wait a minute, this is his first year. He got his team to a bowl game, and then they're watching him on TV like that. I want to be there.
Yeah, no, we're recruiting hard right now. I know Coach and a lot of the coaches are out. Mm-hmm. I talked to a coach in LA. I talked to a coach in Vegas. Talked to a coach today in Oklahoma City. So they're all out and about. What's interesting, and we're going to talk about this leading up to the bowl. What's different in all the bowls is the financial payouts. Yeah. The finances of the bowl. So when we receive everybody's looking on the internet and seeing, it's $1 million to each team. Well, when you're in an affiliated conference, that $1 million goes to the conference and it's broken up and you have ticket requirements and things like that. Well, on what was it, Sunday night, about 9:40, we got the contract and open it up. We say, okay, we're receiving $150,000 to play in the bowl game. But the 2,000 tickets we sell, we can keep that.
Oh, okay.
The next 2,000 we split 50-50. So that's where you can make some money. Now, I think if you maxed out all of that, you're about $420,000. But at the end of the day, we're not taking a bus to Tucson. We're taking plane. Now you got your, not just the football team for multiple days, but the band, the cheer. You can't go on national TV and not have a band.
And that's one of the things that I was talking about some of the travel stuff, because I did have to call my mom and say, Mom, I'm not going to be able to make it for Christmas this year, but I'm going to be in Detroit. Right. And that's not one of those things, because once again, I know the team and everybody gets up there several days beforehand. I think plans are right now to leave on the 22nd.
That is correct. Yeah.
Thursday, right?
Whatever day.
Whatever day the 22nd is. I think it's a Thursday. But that's 4 days before the game to get up there. That's a lot of expense for hotels, meals, and all that other stuff like that. Not just the travel to get up there. Yeah.
Sure. No, it's significant. So we're going to be launching a campaign in the coming days where we're going to ask alums, even if they can't make it, will they purchase 1, 2, or more tickets to the bowl game? We've got, I think we're going to offer the commemorative ticket itself, a commemorative bowl program that we'll produce, maybe the commemorative poster, whatever it is, kind of like what we did with the stock sale. Yeah. Because while maybe they can't go to the game, we can get them that money will help fund the bowl experience. And then hopefully we can kind of issue a real ticket to people that in Detroit, that the bowl can let know that, hey, this is coming from the Aggies, boys and girls clubs, etc. So we can have some fans in there rooting for us. And we've talked to the bowl about that. So a lot of stuff going on, but that's kind of in the early planning stage.
Yeah, but that's your magic that I'm going to let you work and get that done, because I know you're when it comes to stuff like that, you are indeed a magician and somehow seem to pull it out every time. So I can't wait to see what actually ends up coming up there. But it's really exciting for the Aggies to get back to a bowl game. And like I said, what just finding out about it and knowing about it. So like I know I missed this last game and I was a little down about that, but then to find out that we're going to get ready to go up there, gets me really excited to do this. And the fact that the second time might be really cool, 50 weight thing again, and that's what gets me really excited, not just for the bowl game for the kids that were here that stuck around with Jerry, but for the future of the program in general.
Well, you look at the fact that we're bowl eligible and we played 3 Power 5 teams this year. That is not going to happen anymore. As I said, the schedule going forward we'll have 8 conference games in Conference USA, at least for this coming year. We will have an FCS game. We'll have a Power 5 game, a money game. We'll play New Mexico. And then depending on if New Mexico is home or on the road, our group of 5 opponent, we'll have another group of 5 opponent, hopefully on the road or at home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And lest everybody forget, Conference USA, UTEP is in the same conference. So we're going to be playing them as conference, foes.
Right.
So don't worry about that. We'll get that game in there too, for sure. And there's a lot to look forward to getting into the conference. I mean, after we're done with the bowl game and we're looking forward to Conference USA, I mean, there are some definite perks about being in the conference. One of them you said are some like automatic bowl bids and
the
scheduling.
Bowl, the bowl alignment is huge. The scheduling allows you, instead of doing an independent schedule, you really only have to schedule 3 games.
Yeah.
I mean, the UNM game is kind of locked in. You have to find a group of 5 opponent, and then you get your FCS and your FBS. So scheduling will be much, much easier.
Yeah.
You get to play for a conference championship. So, and you have the benefit of a conference behind you. For instance, we couldn't get that San Jose State game rescheduled, right?
Yeah.
But if you look at the Mid-America Conference, the Buffalo-Akron game, they did find a way to reschedule that game on Friday. So, maybe apples to apples, but, when you have a conference behind you, you will actually, it's just a little nicer. It's like an insurance policy.
Well, no, it's always nice to know that you have someone watching your back at sometimes. And that's the nice thing about being a conference. When you're an independent, I mean, the only thing you've got to rely on is yourself and maybe the goodwill of a lot of other schools in some cases like that. But like you said, with the conference, you've got these other teams, these other coaches, these other programs that are backing you up, and the same for everybody else in there. You'd be able to back up somebody else if someone came to you and said, hey, can we do some of this stuff in here, and you'd be able to work that out. Because I'm sure that happens a lot.
Well, yeah, it happens, and well, I guess whether it happens a lot or a little, that's when you need it. That's when you need it.
Yeah.
And we're happy that on is it July 1, I guess, we'll be being a new member of Conference USA.
Yeah, that's gonna come up here pretty quick right here. This whole season has gone by pretty quick, because I think when we first started, we had just barely at the beginning of the season when you first came in for the.
That's true. I think since we last talked, the Conference USA announced that while we'll be a 9-team league next year, going forward 2 years from now, they're going to add Kennesaw State, which is a school with about 40,000 students in Georgia. They're an FCS team that's going to be transitioning to FBS. Obviously, a suburb of Atlanta.
Yeah.
What I like about that is it's a big school. And we will be traveling there, and that's a great recruiting area. For us. Also, El Paso has direct flights into Atlanta. That's huge for our teams that don't charter. Football is the only team that charters.
But that's because you have all the team members there.
I think there's a couple of Delta flights a day, so that's going to be great. And while I don't know a ton about their institution, that'll put us at a 10-team league, and I think add just a little more stability than what a 9-team league would do.
Yeah, absolutely. I am looking forward to getting back to some of those teams in the South right there, because I'll be honest with you, the one thing I did love when we were in the Sun Belt is getting some for breakfast.
I am quite sure in Atlanta, Georgia,
I will be able to find some good grits for breakfast, if not at least a nearby Waffle House. As we are kind of moving on right here, I know that we're getting ready for the break right here. But there is no break for what you're up to right now and all the different sports that are going on right here. You mentioned Jerry Kill and his coaches are doing some recruiting. How about Coach Jordan or everybody else on the volleyball team, or how's everything going with those guys? Are they looking at
Sure.
recruiting?
Yeah, they're all recruiting. We're in the middle of other seasons. Swimming
Mhm.
and diving is right in the middle of their season. We've got women's basketball.
Yeah.
The Jody Adams era has began, and she had a tremendous win at home over UNM, first time
Yep.
in eight tries.
Yep.
That we got the better of those guys. Had a massive lead. We relinquished the lead, and then we kind of got the better of them in overtime. So that was great for the program. Got a first road win in like a year and a half.
Yeah.
So we know that she's going to build that program up, but she's doing a lot, with maybe not as much right now. Golf's finished their fall season up.
Their fall
They're on a
season, they're
little
going to get ready.
hiatus.
They're going to get ready for their spring season.
But we're getting it all cranked up, and there's a lot of other things we're doing. We launched a couple of new products with our seltzer. We launched, gee whiz, what was it, our 10,000th bottle of Pistol Pete's Six Shooter Rye Whiskey. We launched our Aggie Roast Coffee, our collaboration with Beck's. We saw an end to a tremendous women's soccer season.
Yeah, absolutely. Rob Bart's had a tremendous soccer season. So,
we were picked 5th in the WAC, and what I tell everybody, what's interesting is, the Western or soccer these days, a lot of people think, well, we're New Mexico. Hey, we should really be really good at soccer. But the reality is, a lot of soccer elite players are kind of rich girls who play in the club.
Yeah.
That's just kind of what it is. And you see North Carolina, UCLA in the finals, Florida State. Usually New Mexico State doesn't fit into that.
Doesn't quite fit into that
genre,
category. Yeah.
That whatever the proper word is for that. And Rob just went out and got a bunch of gritty young women, and we were picked 5th, but we get to the conference, and we have to win 3 matches where we didn't get the 1 or 2 seed, and he managed to do that. And then we get picked, and we go all the way out to Mississippi State, and man, it's 1-1 in like the 89th minute. And they push a goal across, and we lose 2-1. But I tell you what, we look like we can hang with a pretty darn good SEC team.
I'm trying to recall, because I think they went through the WAC tournament and actually held all their opponents scoreless, right?
Yeah, it might have been.
I think it was through the tournament.
Yeah, it might have been 3 clean sheets, as they say.
I think it was, yeah.
And then we locked Rob Bartz up, in a multi-year contract. So we were really, really excited about that.
Yeah, awesome. Like I said, I think things are looking really, really good for a lot of our programs right here, and even the men's basketball team is going to move on. I know that they're on the road right now. They're going to Santa Clara, right?
Yeah, they've got a heck of a road swing. They're in Santa Clara tomorrow night. Right? And then we're going to pick up and we're going to fly to Pittsburgh, where we have Duquesne University.
Yeah.
You do these anyway, and then we'll go back to the West Coast and we'll play St. Mary's, which is a monster. So those are 3 tough road games. I think you're looking at a 7-1 team, a 7-2 team, and a 6-3 St. Mary's. Yeah. So it's going to be a really, really tough road swing. As you look at the scheduling in the Jans era, we started out with 9 non-conference games his first year. Then that went down to 7.
Yeah.
Then it went to 5. And then the last 2 went to 4.
Yeah.
And you've got UNM and UTEP, but it was getting harder and harder to get people to come to Las Cruces because you have a ridiculous winning percentage at home and easy place to get. So they change planes in Dallas, then you got to drive to, and then it's like you have a 90% winning percentage. Why am I doing this? And we don't have the funds just to bring these teams in and pay them, $90,000 a pop. So that was one of the reasons why we scheduled actually it was Jans was the coach, but we made the agreement to play in the Don Haskins Classic or the Sun Bowl Classic.
The Sun Bowl Classic.
Yeah, over at the Don Haskins Center at UTEP. I mean, it was 2 games, didn't cost us anything, and we could get games and our fans could see. Now, they gave us Kent State, who almost knocked off Gonzaga.
Yeah.
Last night. So the schedule is by far and away, I think, the toughest one, the non-conference that we've been we've faced since I've been here, not coming
Yeah.
at the greatest time, but it's just a really tough schedule. So, and you've got a lot of new players. So, baptism by fire. And
Absolutely. I think this is going to be a good test for the team to see how they pull out. Despite all the distractions or anything else that's going on right there, it's a good test for the character of the team on how they're going to do on this road swing and when
Yeah.
they get back in here and when we get back into conference play.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we're going to start shining a little bit more on there. But yeah, these are some tough games that are coming up.
Well, they are, and conference isn't getting any easier. I mean, you look at a Sam Houston State. I think I saw their Ken Palm or something, or I don't know what it was, but it was like a 7.
Yeah.
They had beaten Oklahoma and somebody else. I can't remember who it was, but they beat a second Power 5 school. So, yeah, I mean, the WAC every year has gotten better and better. So, just like everything else, everybody we're the New York Yankees when we show up, and everybody shows up no matter where we go. And that's just kind of what we've built here. And it'll be interesting to see how this group handles that.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can't see the smile behind my face because I'm masked up right here. But you're mentioning all these teams and all these games, and I've told everybody before that I enjoy sports and I love sports, but I do not have that sports brain that can go ahead and recall all these things in my head automatically. And you have it. I know. There's Jack has it. Corey has it. A few of the other people. Basically, almost everybody you work with has that because I hear all those conversations on the bus and on the plane. About talking about things, and I'm going like, I think it was a Wednesday.
Yeah. Well, you take note when a conference member does something. I saw Grand Canyon just won a game at, I guess it was Wyoming. But those wins are impactful. I used to laugh because, so many fans root against the Lobos. We hate the Lobos. We always want the Lobos to lose. And Chris Jans would always say, "Are you guys nuts? I want them to win every single game except the 2 because when they do better, it looks better for us and it helps us."
Yeah.
Now, fans don't necessarily think like that, but I just thought it was always funny that people would think that Chris Jans is sitting there plotting the Lobos' demise, but he really wants them to win every game because it looks better for us.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if it looks better to beat a stronger opponent, you come up against somebody that can play and you beat them, then you know that you're going to be worth your salt, on the court, on the field, or anything else like that. Mike Jordan used to do that all the time. His schedules were really, really tough for his girls before they got to conference too.
Yeah, and that's what helps because eventually, if you aspire to be a multi-bid league, you want the league to be strong. Yeah, it's great when we blow through everybody and we're 15-1 in conference or 13-3 and we win the tournament. But it's great when you get multiple bids.
Yeah.
Like women's soccer did, right? We beat Utah Valley. They also got a bid. So it's really nice that the league will be better. Makes it more challenging, but it just shows that the league is growing and is becoming more formidable around the country.
Yeah. And then people are going to take note of that. People are going to notice that. They're going to it's already, like you said, when you're trying to schedule those basketball games, people will think twice, going like, going down to New Mexico to play a home game. Well, I don't know about that one, but one of those.
Well, that was Jerry's great one-liner. We were in that press conference. He said, New Mexico State used to be lined up like a club sandwich. Now we can't get anybody to play us.
Yeah.
So, that's what happens when you have a big upset and you show some dramatic improvement on the field.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And like I said, I'm looking forward to everything else that comes along right here. He's going to hound me, isn't he, until I recognize the fact that I'm like second from the bottom. Is that what he's waiting for? Okay. Commissioner Kelly is hanging out over here on the side. If you see Mario looking over to his right, Commissioner Kelly is hanging out because, of course, I'm sure that he wants to talk about. Oh, he's waiting for it, isn't he? Well, in just a moment. I'm gonna let him wait a little bit more. I'm gonna make him wait a little bit more because right now, I think we mentioned our fantasy football league, right? The last time that you were here, Kelly is our commissioner of our fantasy football league, and it's a punishment league. The loser has to take the SATs with the high school students, and whatever score they get on the SATs is going to be on their last place trophy. I'm going to tell you right now, this is the only person keeping me out of last place right now. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's the 3 of us.
Yeah.
But it's
Well,
league is we're all putting money in. First
well, don't worry. We'll get to it.
I want Mario to.
You want Mario to get
Yeah,
it?
well, just to hear it.
Okay.
So the thought process was Max came up with it.
Okay.
And, all 12 members will donate some money, and the winner gets to pick where the $1,200.
Yeah.
So we'll
Yeah.
donate
So,
it
so,
to
so
a
that's a
local
charity. Like it's a charity.
But the trophy goes to last place, and last, so your team name and then your SAT scores
Mhm.
go on the trophy.
So you're telling me
Ed's
that.
in it, but he's in good shape. There's a lot of people in good shape.
So
except for us.
Except for us three. Yeah. Except for us.
Max is going to show up with a ball cap on, a beard at some random high school saying, I need a Scantron and a Dixon Ticonderoga #2 pencil, please.
I want you to make note that we three are at the bottom right here. All three of us have our caps on, and
I will
temporarily,
be,
I do have my beard going on.
I will
here,
be
so.
watching the news for that.
Oh, we're probably going to tape it. We're probably going to tape the whole
Yes.
experience and then just be waiting out there to see what the
4 weeks.
2 weeks. Yeah.
2 weeks.
The anticipation right here is, of course, is that you have to
Wow.
take the test and then you just have to wait and see what your score is.
I can see some poor kid just trying to get into a better university, and Max is over there sweating it out and sighing and I don't know.
Done.
Yeah. Whatever you do, Max, fill out all the bubbles. Even if you're guessing, yeah, that's a better strategy. Don't leave anything blank.
You could try
Take any
some
points.
patterns in there, or anything else like that. Taking tests.
There's a lot of strategy.
Is that like you said, process of elimination. Take out the answers that don't make any sense at all, and you've basically got down to a 75 to a 50% chance, whatever it is. Take a lucky guess. You will get more likely you will get an answer right or or not.
I gave
Hey.
Lindsay some advice 2 weeks ago,
And she followed it.
and she beat me.
Uh-huh.
And then she won her next game, and now she's like almost out of the running. I need to just shut up.
Yeah. Hey, I was tied for the best record in the league. First 5 weeks, man. We were tied. First 6 weeks. I think we were tied. And then when we went up against each other, I lost that game. I haven't won a game since.
Put you in a tailspin.
Oh, crash and burn, man. Crash and burn.
It's gonna be a limp to a finish.
Pretty much. And I've got a bum ankle.
But it's gonna be fun. We'll make sure to video document anything.
Oh yeah, anything. Yeah, don't worry. You guys will see what happens when this whole thing gets wrapped up and done with. But we've got 2 more weeks to go, and what?
I saw an interesting something popped up on social media.
Here,
That,
my
here, I just want to comment because that I say postseason play. I don't know what else to call it right now.
okay.
Basketball.
I'm gonna keep Kelly around. He's like my publicist.
You know what?
I've got
you-
this
And
right
then what I
here.
want
Hey.
to do is I want to take those.
Kelly's got one.
and
Kelly's got one of those
show
brains
what our
too.
budgets are.
Yeah.
To really,
So
to really talk.
now, what Kelly's bringing up, by the way, he gave me the best hat in the world. I should have wore it today. I
Ah.
can't fit in with you guys. But there are 9 schools. So there's 350. I don't know if it's 57. I think 357 Division I
Mhm.
programs,
Give or take.
and there are 9 schools that qualified for the following: the men's basketball NCAA tournament,
Mhm.
the NCAA baseball tournament,
Mhm.
okay, the women's soccer
Mhm.
NCAA tournament, and have a bowl eligible team. Okay, those
Yeah.
4 postseason appearances.
Uh-huh.
There's only 9 of them. One, tell me if you heard of these schools: University of Arkansas,
Heard of them.
okay, SEC, LSU,
Yeah.
Louisiana State
Yeah.
University, okay, University of North Carolina,
Yeah.
right? A school called Notre Dame. May have heard of
Who?
them. Yeah, Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. I think I've heard of them.
TCU, Texas Christian,
Yeah.
in the college football playoff. University of Tennessee.
Mhm.
You might have heard of these next 2 schools on the West Coast: UCLA.
Yes, I think I
Okay.
have heard of
And then
them.
another school just to the east of us, a school named the University of Texas. Okay. And the 9th school is the New Mexico State Aggies.
Nice.
So, I said, I realize,
Thank you for bringing that up.
one
Kelly.
incident happens and the dauber gets down and things like that. But, we've had sustained across the board success.
Mhm.
And a big chunk of our 400 student athletes contributed to a stat like this that people can be proud of.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what we're really trying to put forward. We know we don't always put our best foot forward. However, boy, across the board success. Now, there's a lot of programs and a lot of conferences that could be doing this too.
Mhm.
But I just named only Power 5 schools that none of them have a budget of less than $150 million. And we have a budget of about, you look at Texas, they've got what, 225?
Yeah.
I mean, and we have that. I might put the budgets on here, but it's a really, really great statistic for if you're a New Mexico State fan.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because like you mentioned, all these schools up there, the budgets that they have, and then New Mexico State is right there on that list.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that's a neat deal. And the other nice good news item, I just got it from our ticket manager. We've been keeping ticket records for the last 22 years.
Yeah.
Computerized ticket records. But you got to figure before that, at least from a dollar standpoint, anything that we've recorded is a record. Individual game ticket revenue, now we had 6 games, was second all time.
Nice.
I think it was 2005 was the all-time record.
Yeah,
This
that
is
would have been
football. This is
that. Yeah,
football.
football. Yeah, that would have been
so
Hal
that
Mummy's first year.
First year.
Yeah.
And I think we had 7 home games that year, if I'm not
Yeah, I
mistaken.
think we did.
And that huge UTEP game that
Mhm.
brought in a ton of dough. And then the most tickets sold. So the second in dollars, but first in most tickets sold. So, the Jerry Kill effect, we had a tremendous crowd against Nevada, right? Over 23,000. We had a tremendous crowd at UNM, over 20,000. And, Las Cruces really showed up. And I think going into next football season, we will really, really make an emphasis on selling football season tickets. We're going to a new conference, going to ask people to support it, all 6 games. And, hopefully we'll get our season ticket number up, significantly.
What and basically what my ear is telling me right now is get your tickets tomorrow. Able to charge season tickets right there, maybe break some records. So all I'm saying is right now, this is what New Mexico State football, Coach Jerry Kill, 6 wins. We're going to Detroit on the 26th. We're in a bowl game. Get your tickets for next year before, like I said, Mario or somebody up there gets the bright idea to start charging what I think they should be charging for some of these tickets.
Well, it's going to be interesting. It'd be great to win that bowl game. We had the benefit of kind of being the home team when we went to the Arizona Bowl with our fans.
Just a little bit, man. There was a whole bunch of people there.
We're going to know what it's like on the other side of the coin.
Because,
like I said, Bowling Green's an hour and 15-minute drive. So all their fans will be able to go. But boy, a bowl win would certainly be a wonderful springboard to go into
the next
into recruiting season, into spring ball, and then ultimately the first season in Conference USA.
Absolutely, I am looking forward to that for sure. And once again, thanks Mario for taking the time to come out over here and talk with. Like I said, I know you're busy. I know you've got a lot of things on your mind right now, but being able to take the time and to answer these questions and hang out with us, I really do appreciate it.
Now we set it up, and I just wanted to make sure I showed up.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, as you know, whenever you're ready, you've got an open door to go ahead and let us know when you're ready to go.
The question is, will I open next season's show?
Well, you know what? Yet? Well, next season's show will be technically in January. So
maybe you'll have me back.
Yeah, we're not just doing this for football season. We're gonna go over with all the spring sports and everything else like that too. But if you'd like to open it up in January and give us an update on what's going on, well, I think we'll be ready to start talking baseball by then, right?
Yeah, that's right. Well,
and I know as a former baseball player, I'm sure you're really excited about what could be going on.
Well, look, I was drafted by the Detroit Tigers in the ever prestigious 44th round. And while I never made it there as a major leaguer, I'll get to go as an AD and, taking a bowl game. So
there you go. You can get yourself a cap.
Yeah, that's right.
That'll be awesome. Well, thanks a lot, Mario, and once again for coming by.
Okay,
I appreciate that. And like I said, whenever you're ready to go ahead and come on back, just let us know. We'll be able to get you in, and we will definitely make sure that you open up our next season.
Thank you. Good luck with your last couple games in your league. And if for some reason you lose, don't ask me about the SAT. I got enough. I got enough on my mind.
Look, I'm not necessarily worried about it if I have to take it, except for one particular field, and that's math, because I don't do math well at all. At all. I mean, at all. In fact, I didn't even take the SATs in high school. I took the ACTs. And actually, I didn't even take the ACTs until 10 years after I graduated. I did the scoring over. I did overall. I scored a 26, which I thought was not too bad for a 28-year-old. 10 years out of high school. Okay. But my math score was a 13. So I did have to take my algebra class over at DACC with all the other 18-year-olds that were going up in there.
This has turned into an episode of Oprah, for goodness sakes. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I made it through the class, and it only took me half a semester to figure out that I can actually use a calculator. I didn't realize I could use a calculator.
Wow.
Yeah, true story. True story. Well, thanks a lot, Mario.
Right, thank you.
Thank you. Kelly, you guys want to come in here for the last second here? Thanks to Mario Mocha for stopping by. It's really good for him. You know, he's had a busy weekend.
Oh, I got here in 1998.
98. So you got here about 3 years after I did.
Okay, so I got here in 1998. I graduated high school in 96. Went to a junior college, played basketball.
1990 year. Actually, I ended up being the year that I took the ACT. So interesting.
So, and man, I've been here and I've been associated. I graduated from New Mexico State 2003, and I've never been around this program when they've had more likable, affable, and just down to earth coaches. Like, I mean, I've if you would have asked me, if you lined up 10 people and you put 4 of the last football coaches in there, and you said which point to the football coaches, I couldn't tell you who they are.
Okay, I would be able to point out Hell Mummy. That's only because nobody liked him. I'm gonna say that.
I think it was taller, white hair. Like I think I could too.
Very disinterested look on his face. That's pretty much what I remember.
But nonetheless, I mean, Jerry and FYI, I'll tell we've got we're working on something for Jerry, a surprise.
Okay.
A surprise?
Surprise.
Okay.
Super cool that I think he'll like.
Okay.
I don't want to give it away.
Well, yeah, don't give it away online.
But we're working on something. We're dealing with a let's just say that it's a company that's founded in New Mexico. The son's taking it over, and the product that he makes, he's actually made for president. And we're going to have something. We got some stuff.
I have no idea.
I'll tell you. Yeah. So
you'll tell me when we get.
We'll get once we get it lined up. He's going to come into town, and we're going to work with him. The funny story is the son who just took over, his daughter just graduated from New Mexico State.
Oh, that's
and his wife has her MBA. So when I mentioned it to him, he was like, "Let's go." So I got something cool because Jerry Kill, has just so far exceeded expectations.
Oh no, like I said,
and not only that, just the person he is, and just how he can't walk by without saying hi or just interacting with you. It's just unreal.
This is what I'll tell you about in my experience with Jerry, and I've only met him just about 3 or 4 times when I meet him. But when you meet him, he's that guy that comes up to you, immediately pats you on the back, grabs you by the shoulders, and next says, "Hey man, how you doing? It's been a while. What are you up to?" Like that, and that actually speaks volumes for this area.
To me, that's one of the true defining characteristics of a person. It's just how they treat you when no one else is watching, and he doesn't change. Doesn't matter. And Coach Heyer is exactly like that. That guy is so much fun to be around. And the soccer coach.
Yeah, Rob Bartz was awesome when he came in. He was really cool.
Awesome. I've only met him twice, and just it's one of those things where it's like I got to figure out how to support him more in his endeavors because of what he does. And then you've got Coach Kirby on the baseball team. Yeah, that dude's an absolute riot. He invited us to a practice maybe a few weeks. It was during during a home football game. And while we were tailgating, we walked over to practice, And he's literally the type of guy that's like, hey, next time you come, bring your glove and go out in the outfield and shag some flies. And I'm like, oh my God, like this is the good. It's like I tell all my friends who are former New Mexico State alum graduates everything that we're doing, and they're like, why is it so cool now that we're gone? And I said, well, mostly it's because you're gone, and now it's
yeah. Well, you know, once
So-
once you get rid of all of that stuff, you know, then
once you get rid of the dead weight, there's nowhere to go but up.
Well, I'm going to tell you how we got there, and a lot of it has to do with the gentleman that just left. You know,
I agree.
Mario's been here for 7 years, and the job that he's done in finding the right people that are going to fit our program, and I think
you hire talented people, you get talented results.
Exactly, and I think that comes from the fact that he's also, you know, an NMSU alum. He was also an NMSU athlete. Like I said, he played baseball, and I think that his love for the program translates into getting the right people for the job. Like when you meet someone face to face, you can tell if they're going to work out.
What he's done has been outstanding. Just like that guy needs all the flowers he can get. To come full circle onto hiring people that will help you get better. Let's talk about these records. So I am in dead last.
Oh shoot, we're going to talk about
at 4-9.
Yeah,
okay? I'm 4-9.
Yeah,
and then there's a 3-way tie for. I given 10-9, and it's between
Yep.
and it's between Quaid. And
wait, when did Lindsay get up there?
Lindsay's 7-6 now. Like she's got a winning record. There's two Eds 6-7. JR's. I'm telling you, it's like nothing bizarro. It's bizarro world. It's what this is what it is. Bizarro world.
All right.
So let's see here. We'll go to the lead. Let's go to scoreboard. I want to see who we all match up with next week.
Hold on a second. I'm gonna go ahead and bring this one up in here then.
Oh wait, no, there is only 1 week left.
Oh, we only have 1 week left.
There is 1 week left.
What happens if we get a tie?
Then you know what? I will. If
do we,
we
go?
Have
If we go to a tie, do we get a point?
If we have a tie, then what we'll do is then the following week, I will adjust the schedule so that if there's teams that are in, here's what we'll do.
We'll adjust the score.
I will make sure that I don't finish in last.
Yeah.
But no, what we'll do is if there's a 2-way tie, what we will do is we'll do a one game, a championship game between those two teams to play to see who doesn't finish last.
Yeah.
If there is a 3-way tie, then what we will do is we won't play each other, but the low point of those 3 teams during the week finishes last.
Okay.
And then if there's a 4-way tie, we'll do a playoff bracket. I'll create a little playoff for us last place.
Oh, I thought we were going to play Uno for that.
So I play Andrew.
Mm-hmm.
His team's been struggling. I've lost 4 in a row. I can't believe I'm that bad.
Who am I going up against?
Good Lord. Lindsay's won 4 in a row.
She's got to play Walkie though.
Yeah, but she's still so far. All right. Gino, you play Sean.
I do play Sean. Right now, I'm projected to beat him.
He's won 7 in a row.
Oh, come on.
Quay, yes, there's a chance. There is a chance that there could be a 4-way tie for last.
For last place.
And I will figure out, we'll like I said, if it's 4-way tie, we'll do a playoff. We'll do a seeding, and we'll play each other to play to a championship. And then the losers will play. You know what I mean? Like I'll get it set up.
Well, don't we have the playoff bracket that we could?
Well, the playoff bracket's for the winners.
Oh yeah.
So
you know, I forgot about that one. It's all just for the winners. Well, no, don't they have another?
We really don't know because most leagues don't really care about us down at the bottom.
Well,
like,
I thought or
you know what we could do is we could just say that if it's a tie,
everybody has to do it.
Then it's multiple people have to go do it. Have to go take it.
Yeah.
And whoever gets the lowest SAT score gets the trophy.
And then oh my God, yes, that's what it is.
Or maybe you have like a.
That's no. That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
If we tie, everyone that tie, if there's a tie if there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Everyone, we go take it together, and the lowest SAT score goes on the trophy.
That's really rough.
That is harsh.
That's perfect for this. That's why we're going to do it.
Okay.
We could do like a math quiz here. to see-
No math. No math.
What
No
are you-
math. No
No
math. No.
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 Listen.
They can't
Rules
see
are
my face.
rules.
You guys
I'll
can't, they
sign
can't see
you
my
up.
face. No, no math. No math.
That's what. No.
Can we do
actually, that's it.
literature, English,
been done.
music, arts? I don't care. Anything. No math.
So we could theoretically have 4 people taking the SAT.
Yes. we
Theoretically,
could.
it's a
We could.
possibility. It's a chance.
That's what we're going to do. So that's how it's going to work.
That's how it's going to work.
It's
okay.
just record alone. If there's a tie, then you tie for last place, and you have to go do it.
And you have to go do it. And
You
then the winner of the trophy is
the lowest score on the SAT.
God.
Dang.
Oh, that's
This is gonna
yeah.
be fun. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm in.
You're the bottom
I am
four.
in dead last.
You're,
so I have to win. Here's what's funny.
you have to win
actually,
the tie.
I have to win the tie.
Yeah.
So I have to take it.
Well,
I just ensured that I have to take the SAT.
maybe we could set it up to where the trophy presentation
Trophy presentation
is.
Yeah, grab the mic.
Yeah,
Take the mic off and give it over to Max. Give it up.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
maybe we could work it out to where the trophy presentation for the SAT
Uh-huh.
lowest score is on the floor at one of the basketball games.
Oh my God.
Yes. Yeah, in front of
Oh.
everybody.
Oh my.
Mario could present it.
Mario.
Oh,
Oh,
dude, that's such a.
I'm sure he'd be up for that.
he would
Oh,
do- yes.
well, on that note,
right. Yeah.
we're gonna
Hey, it
on
is-
that
it-
note, we're gonna finish it up. It has been finalized. If
I
there
have
is
to
a
take
tie,
the SAT.
well, we know you do.
I have to
You
take
do.
the SAT. I thought we had one more week.
Oh,
I thought I had one more week. Oh my God.
so
I thought I had one more week.
now that Kelly has realized that he is taking the
Son of a
SAT, you're gonna get
buck.
are you gonna you can get a coach. You can get an SAT coach, right?
Oh, well, you know what? I feel I feel exactly about the SAT like I did about fantasy football.
Oh, did you?
I'm really good at this stuff.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and end up right now. We will be taking a bit of a break for the holidays, but not to worry. The next video that you'll probably see for Mesilla Valley News Sports Podcast will probably be the finals for that charity league, and we'll let you guys know exactly how we did. Oh, this is going to be so much fun talking about tomorrow morning. I'm going to tell you that right now, Kelly. But thanks a lot for hanging out with us. Like I said, enjoy your holidays. Have a very Merry Christmas. Enjoy your New Year. Lots of stuff going down at the Amador for the holidays, and of course the big New Year's Eve get together as well. They got several bands lined up and everything else. So make your plans to come down or to the Amador Live Eatery and Entertainment District. The Broken Spoke, 575, everything that's here. And like I said, there's lots going on every weekend. You can check it out, amadorlive.com/events. So lots to do for that. And that does it for us right here. We are out of here. Thanks a lot. We'll see you in a few weeks when we get our next spring season started.
Merry Christmas.
I just realized I was talking to the camera and all they were seeing was our standings for the got to go back to that regular camera. Well, things happen. I've only got one mouse, and I was paying attention and realizing that we're going to have a lot of fun. That being said, you guys enjoy your evening. Thanks for hanging out with us, and we'll see you in a few weeks.